What's going on, guys? It's your boy Hammer back with another supplement review, and today we've got a product that's very special because every once in a while in the supplement world, two titans will collaborate to create a special product that couldn't have been created on its own. And today we have arguably the kings of the illicit high-stem pre-workout partnering with the undisputed supplier, the best supplier of supplements in North America. I'm talking about Dark Labs. I'm talking about Nutricartel. And without further ado, I got a list. You got a list. Let's get down to business because today we are talking about crack Cartel Edition. Oh! All right, Crack Cartel Edition. What is this boy all about? Well, like I said, this is perhaps a limited edition. I don't know if it's here to stay. I don't know if it's limited edition. All I know is it's here right now. I got my hands on it, and I'm going to talk about it. But it's a collaboration between Nutricartel, best suppliers of supplements, like I said, in North America. In my opinion, the best variety, paired with the best customer service, paired with awesome sales from time to time, paired with Code Hammer active every single day of the year. I just love Nutricartel. I've loved having a partnership with them. And, you know, like the Extremist Cartel line of supplements is awesome. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit carried away. And then we got Dark Labs, who, when it comes to transparent 2 amino labels that we know is going to be quality source, that we know the formulas are going to be reliable, there's not really anyone else doing it at that level. You know, you could argue and you could sit here and say too many of their formulas are barely tweaked and they're all the same stuff. But the thing is, little changes to these formulas do change the way they behave, do change the way they perform. So hey, like if you think they're all the same, that's your business. But at the end of the day, they're all quality. They have transparent labels. A lot of times when you're getting these 2 amino, more illicit type pre-workouts, you're buying from a brand and you don't even know if it's going to hit because they either lie on label about actually having what they have in it, or they have poor quality sourcing of the ingredients, et cetera, et cetera. So with Dark Labs, you know what you're getting, you know it's quality. So is this Cartel Edition different enough from the current offerings so you have to grab it? Well, in order to get there, we're gonna have to pop this label up on screen and we are gonna have to talk about it. So we got 1 scoop coming in at 27.3 grams, 20 servings per container. And I just read it does say limited edition. So I'm not sure how long this one is gonna be around, but if you like what I have to say about the hitter, you might wanna go grab it while you still can. We have full, serving coming in, like I said, 27.3 grams, 20 servings. Let's get into it. We have L-citrulline coming in at 10 grams, pumps, a little bit of performance benefit, blood flow enhancement, nitric oxide levels getting raised, beta-alanine at 4 grams for some endurance benefit, lactic acid buffering, that nice good tingle sensation, L-tyrosine coming in at 4 grams, big dose of tyrosine, building block, precursor to norepinephrine, to dopamine, kind of foundational nootropic ingredient. Then we have agmatine sulfate at 1,500 milligrams. That's going to inhibit the breakdown of arginine, so it's going to help your pump stay around longer. Also has some nootropic brain activity. Then we have N-phenethyl dimethylamine citrate at 500 milligrams. Aragensis, nice mood uplift, nice clearing the head, kind of a cognitive focus type stimulant, and overall feeling of well-being. Caffeine anhydrous at 300 milligrams. Your main source caffeine, the 2 amino isoheptate at 300 milligrams. That's pretty much the biggest dose I like to see it at. I've experimented with everything, guys. Pushing your 2 amino beyond 300 is not going to really get you much more, besides side effects. At that dosage, you're getting all you could get as far as head high, euphoria, feel good, focus, lock in the bubble. And then if you start pushing, trying to stack more on top of that or push the grammage, in my personal experience, I don't get any extra of that, but I get an uncomfortable feeling in my chest. It's not my heart racing. It's not like a tachycardia. I don't even know what it is, but I don't mess with it. So I keep my 2 amino 300. The only time I've gone above that in recent memory is when I ran Crack Undead King because it has 350. But moving on, we have L-norvalline at 300 milligrams. That's going to work similarly to agmatine as far as inhibiting the breakdown of arginine to extend the pump. And then we have theobromine at 300 milligrams. Theobromine kind of related to caffeine, smoother, more mild stimulatory effects, some vasodilation benefits as well, and overall a general good mood up feeling of well-being with theobromine. Caffeine citrate, that's going to be your fast-acting caffeine coming in up front at 100 milligrams, going to yield 50 milligrams active caffeine. So we're looking at 350 total right now. And then we have dicaffeinol at 100 milligrams. That's long-lasting caffeine. That's going to break down even slower, and that's going to yield 75%. So total caffeine per scoop is 425 milligrams. Then we have kanna extract at 50 milligrams. Kanna is has some calming benefits, but it's not really sedative the same way like something like theanine can tend to be. Kanna really kind of just smooths out any kind of anxiety, jitters, really helps focus. I really prefer kanna over theanine, and keeping it at like a 50 milligram dosage is nice. I don't want to see it much higher than that, like maybe 75, but a 50 milligram dosage of kanna works really well to give this nice nootropic benefit, lower anxiety levels, and kind of help lock you in and let you get the most benefit out of these stimulants without any negatives. And finally, alpha yo at 2 milligrams. That's your turbocharger, sense of energy, big old freaking energy push. Gonna take this pre to the next level. So how does this one perform in the real world? What's this one like? Well, I did not realize quite how similar to Crack Halloween this was. And here's the thing with Crack Halloween. There are people who said, oh, that formula looks too similar to the current Dark Lab stuff. I don't need to grab it. And now there's people that are hunting them down, used, desperate to try to get their hands on it, or ordering it from overseas because that was a very well-received product. And the thing with this one is, basically the difference is, you get a little bit more citrulline, so better pump. They doubled up on the tyrosine, the theobromine, and the alpha yo. So all those three ingredients literally got double the dosage. So tyrosine, more focused nootropic benefit, theobromine, more feel-good mood elevation, slight stimulant benefit, and alpha yo, 1 milligram extra alpha yo is going to be very noticeable as far as energy punch, as far as sense of urgency, as far as overall like neural drive. And then the only thing that got lowered is the overall total caffeine. The overall total caffeine is 450 milligrams per scoop in Halloween. It's 425 here. And I would argue that there is not a person on this world that would be able to take a dose of 450 milligrams of caffeine and then a dose of 425 and tell you which one was which. That's going to be so subtle. So how does this one come in the real world? Well, let me just say, I took this today. I traveled last night, or this morning, so I was wrestling last night. So I had a match, traveled early this morning, slept like crap because I was on the road. I don't have my CPAP machine. Your boy has sleep apnea, and I usually don't travel with my CPAP, which means when I'm traveling, I'm pretty much guaranteeing myself a poor night of sleep. Last night was no different. Also had to wake up early, get to the airport, fly home. Girl picks me up. On the drive home from the airport, as we were driving home, like we pulled up and she goes, babe, you should take a nap when we get inside. You should shower up, take a nap. You were just fell asleep. I took a video of it. So it's like I was literally falling asleep in the car so noticeably and probably snoring because I was so exhausted. But I knew if I got home, started, took a nap, and then tried to work out later, I just was not going to have time for everything I wanted to get done in the day. So I said, I'm going to walk inside. The first thing I'm going to do is take my pre-workout and I'll start getting ready for the gym. And I walked inside. I took this boy, went in the bathroom, started washing my face, shaved, packed my gym bag, and was out the door. By the time I was shaving, I already had beta tingles and energy taking over me. So I'm talking about 5 minutes in, this is starting to kick. This was a very similar experience to the face melter I just had in that regard. No, these two pre's feel very different. But what I will say is the betas came in very strong and very apparent on this one. And before they left, the 2 amino head buzz was already taken over. So you had like this feel good buzzing. Like when you feel those sensations, it's like you feel energized and turbocharged because it feels like there's electricity flowing through your body trying to escape. So when that beta alanine comes in and before it could die off, the 2 amino buzz was already there. That's good. That's a good situation to be in. So that created this good sense of urgency. Definitely felt very high energy on this one. Very focused. Not like a crazy like tunnel vision lock-in, but it was just like high energy, feel good buzzing, and feel good focus. How does this one compare to a couple of the hitters in its like that are kind of in a similar category as this one? So I wanted to compare this to a couple pre-workouts to let you guys know what I think about this one. So if you guys missed out on Crack Halloween and you wanted to get this one, but now this is available, I would get this one instead, 100%. Crack Halloween was smoother, which meant you were having a little bit more of like you're like living in the head buzz, like feel good a little bit. But for me, I wanted more. When I take a 2 amino illicit pre-day, I'm taking it with a like mindset of I'm taking one of my strongest pre-workouts so I can have a kick-ass insane workout. And Crack Halloween, I had a good workout on, but it was too mellow for my liking. Like I kept it and I still have it. I've ran it a couple times, but running it since then, I've done experiments of like adding more alpha yo or adding some CC13 on top of it just to try to like see how I like it. Because on its own, it's very smooth and very tame. That 1 milligram of alpha yo doesn't go very far, especially because it's got kanna in it. So kanna really is the thing that like smooths out alpha yo for people. So this was similar to Crack Halloween, but with more urgency, more energy, more overall drive. I wouldn't necessarily say it got aggressive, but leaning a little bit that way. I would also like to compare it, so Crack Halloween, we want to compare it to Pre-Extreme, another one that came out recently. So Pre-Extreme was like similar energy levels, but this one was a lot more like nootropic. Like you felt like a very nootropic focus, and you didn't get as much as of like the feel-good head buzzing on as you do with this one. So this one had that like feel-good head buzz. If you guys like that like head tingling, like you're buzzing, like anytime in the workout, you could like kind of like sit there and like kind of shut your eyes and like, you like squint and like feel it like pulse through your body and like be like, yep, I'm still charged up, ready to go. You're gonna like Crack Cartel. So not as nootropic as this one, similar energy, more feel good. What about like Maniaco? So Maniaco is probably the most feel good euphoric out of all of them, with that twist that has the good urgency kick, because it also has, what is it, 2 or 2.5? 2 milligrams of alpha yo. So, but this one is a simpler formula. So like on paper, this one, it has everything Maniaco has and more. It has everything Maniaco has and higher dosages. So I think overall, the performance might be better. The energy and like drive might be, it's very similar, but something about Maniaco is just a little bit more feel-good euphoric. I don't know why that is. I'm just telling you my personal experience, so you can kind of judge it how you want to. I also compare it to Crack Undead King, and this one was the biggest letdown simply because the formula looks crazy. So like just by looking at the formula, you expect this to be more intense than it is. And like it's a good time, but the 2 amino felt more intense from this than to this, even though this has 50 more milligrams, you know, and then even though this has like halostashine and isopropyl norepinephrine, like those aggressive type stimulants that add to the overall energy and like drive of the pre-workout didn't add, they did add to it, right? But for how much they added versus how much of the euphoric feel good they took away, the trade-off wasn't worth it. So like this one felt like more drive, more energy, more aggression, but like you lost so much of like that feel good buzzing that I like to have working in the background of a good 2 amino hitter. So if I had to rank this one, like as far as like dark lab stuff and like, you know, I included the legit Pre-Extreme, like over Crack Halloween, if I had to pick one of these, this one beats Crack Halloween easy. I'd also choose it over Pre-Extreme personally. Like I said, Pre-Extreme has probably more focus, probably more like of a nootropic bubble feel, but like it's almost like if you drew a Venn diagram of all these pre's and what they're best at, like this is touching this one. This is the Venn diagram that overlaps all of them. Like it has almost as good a euphoria as Maniaco with just as good as urgency. It's like almost as smooth and feel good as Crack Halloween, but it's higher energy. And then it's like almost as nootropic and focused as Pre-Extreme, but it has more euphoria. So it's like, it's touching the best of a lot of things, and the formula reflects that. You know, and then beyond that, this is like also, it's such a good formula, like, because it's like, what about comparing it to something like Flame? Well, Flame probably feels more intense and just as euphoric, but Flame is also just stims, whereas this one has 10 grams of citrulline, 4 grams of beta-alanine. It's got the 1.5 grams of agmatine, as well as the norvalline. So like the pumps on this one, the pumps and performance package, you don't have to stack a dang thing on top of this. It's also got like that good nootropic support in the tyrosine. So I think tyrosine goes a long way when you're in situations like me today, where like I said, I was very underslept. And when you take large doses of tyrosine, I'm talking like above 3 grams up to like 5 grams, potentially even more, but I don't really see a benefit beyond 5. That has a really profound effect at helping you out when you were underslept and like fatigued and like not well rested. So it's gonna go a long way in that situation. So I also had the lemon twist flavor. It wasn't great. Honestly, I think the lemon twist flavor though worked better for this type of formula, because like the kind of like sourness of a lemon kind of worked. It wasn't gross by any means. The flavoring system on this one really reminded me of Pre-Extreme, where like you taste the flavor up front and then you taste like that chemical bitter back end. But with Pre-Extreme, this one was like a strawberry kiwi. So strawberry kiwi up front and then like kind of like a bitter, chemically back end didn't work. Whereas with a lemon twist, you taste like this fresh lemony flavor up front, and then when it gets a little bit like sour and bitter, it still kind of works because it's lemony. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about this one. Overall, very freaking good product. I don't know how much of a hand Jake had in like the formulation of this, because freaking Jake is he's a really smart formulator. Me and him have sat there and like kind of like shot the shit back and forth about like formula ideas, and he really knows what he's doing. But I think overall, what happened was they released crack Halloween. That one came and went, and there were a lot of people who still love that formula. So he goes, okay, how can we offer something similar to this, but kind of take the feedback of what people said about this one, put our own twist on it, make it better. So like I said, it's crack Halloween, slightly less caffeine, double the alpha yolk, double the theobromine, double the tyrosine, and was that it? And more citrulline. So better pumps, better feel good element, better nootropic support, and then better sense of urgency, high aggression. So the only way you're not gonna really like this one is if you're super sensitive to alpha yo. If that extra milligram is the make it or break it for you. But if you haven't tried a pre-workout that has alpha yo and the combo of kanna, maybe give this one a try, because it's like the perfect agent to pair with alpha yo to take off any of the negatives without really being like this like wet blanket that you put over the energy experience. So that's about all I got for this one. I really like this one. Like I said, I'd rank this above Halloween. I'd rank this above Pre-Extreme. I would rank this above Undead King. I wouldn't rank it above Maniaco. I'm not saying Maniaco's better. I feel like they fill different voids. I can't really choose one or the other. Like if you like, gun to my head, my first impulse would be to keep Maniaco, just because I've had that one for a while, so I know it's like a reliable go-to. But at the same time, I don't know. I think with more runs of this one, this could very well easily become my favorite Dark Labs product right now. So that's kind of what I got on this one. If you want to get this one, of course, it's available at Nutricartel.com with code HAMMER for a limited time. And if you found the video helpful, please click like, click subscribe, click all the buttons, do all things. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at AlexHammerstone. I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to hit me up for coaching, email will be in the description below, and I will catch you on the next supplement review.